Hey everybody, can you believe we're back? Welcome to Indie Music Live, episode 237. I'm having more
Yep.
fun doing that every time, I think. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's
man.
been a couple weeks. How's everybody doing? David?
Feeling good, man. The break's always nice, just kind of collect the thoughts and
Yeah, we're
regroup.
going a little slower lately, but that's all right. And pandemic didn't really do much for business.
True.
Musicians kind of stopped working, and so did we. But yeah, we got some reviews in line, and we have one of them actually that's coming up very soon is Breaking the Undertow with Butterwheel, which we'll be checking out the video here in just a split second. And then we also have Mr. Paul Decoster here, and he goes as Decoster and as featured artist tonight. An amazing singer-songwriter from living in Brooklyn, New York now, and he just told me that, and so I remembered it for longer than 30 seconds, and so I just said it. And then also another review coming up on the website very, very soon. 610, a regular on Indie Music Live, with he's got a new EP coming out about a czar, like a czar, something like that, and the song's called "Feeling Like a Czar."
Yeah.
So yeah, Dave, what have you been up to lately, other than hitting on old ladies and weird
Yeah.
shit like that?
Oh, just working like a beast, man. So yeah, got a lot of projects. Actually, we're gonna do a sponsorship with Indie Music Plus. Did you even know that? It's just gonna happen.
Which one is that, Dave?
We'll talk about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Just tell me where to sign, I guess. Anyway,
Yep.
Rob Hicks Hixvideo, Hixvideo. He's still alive and kicking, it looks like. Looking really hot too. His nipples are looking extra good. I have to mention the nipples always. I've noticed that more and more the more I go through the old videos.
You haven't commented on those in like 3 months.
Yeah. David Granny Panties Werba.
Yeah, all the old stuff.
Breaking the Undertow with Butterwheel. Pretty cool satanic video we're gonna show, I think. So we'll be right back. The Man from the Can, Nada. Trevor Heaslip with Breaking the Undertow, and their new single, one of the new singles, there's another one coming out too soon. This one's called Butterwheel, and I'm not sure what's going on in that video. It looks like some witches are getting around and, like burning a candle at a tree, and something about some guy in an elephant hat. I don't know, but the song's cool. one of the guys that have grown the most, as we say around here, since we started, right, Dave?
That's correct, man. I mean, ever since we had that criticism of Trevor like holding his voice back, you remember that a few months back?
I think
All of a
it
sudden,
was all us. I think it was us that made it better. I think.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he owes it all to us. This improvement in the sound and he keeps leveling up. And the production on this.
Well, I want to
is
say
incredible.
real quick too before I let you go too far. He makes the little Instagram videos of us. So hey, Instagram. Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the production on this is, I mean, top notch, right? This is just ready for mainstream in all ways. I mean, I listened through headphones a few times through my speaker system with the subwoofer. It sounded awesome, you know, just kind of through speakers, well mixed.
Yeah.
Voice sounds great. I mean, yeah, it's obviously that, you know, more of a power pop rock type of sound. There was just in the intro, I thought it was kind of going in the range of like Owl City, but then, you know, we had these big kick-ins and I'm like, all right, this is cool, this works. So yeah, this is great, man.
Man, yeah, shoot, I just lost my train of thought. What was I gonna say?
Probably our next artist.
So I had a nice little transition line about picking up dudes, and I was gonna say, speaking of picking up dudes. But it wasn't
Just abort. You just abort.
Picking up dudes. It wasn't about picking up dudes though, but it was like I was weird. It was gonna be hilarious. But anyway, now that I've totally like ruined the moment, Paul Decoster, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? How you doing,
Great,
Joe?
thanks. So you're a featured artist tonight, and it's June 7th, and this is episode 237. And so this is my time when I ask you to kind of give your elevator pitch. I'm walking down the road, and you're like, "Hey, I'm Decoster," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then you tell me who you are, what you're doing with your music. And then you're actually gonna give us a little sample of the "Lend a Hand" song that we're gonna check out the video of, and then we're gonna come back and Dave's gonna get a little deeper with Dave. Yep.
Well, who I am is I'm Paul Decoster. I go by the name Decoster, and I'm somebody who was once called a progressive version of Tom Petty. A lot of the music I do tends to be kind of a mix between like progressive music in the vein of Pink Floyd, perhaps, maybe Rush, with kind of an underlying groove that you can find in the percussion section. You know, it's very rhythmic, and but it also can get very soft and sensitive as well. So I mean, I take from a number of influences. Somebody once compared me to Rick Emmett of Triumph, which I thought was really pretty flattering. But I tend to have a lot of influences like James Taylor as well. So currently what I'm doing with my music right now is I'm going to be releasing some new songs this year. Some of them are going to be quite upbeat. Some of them were written during the pandemic. And some of them are actually about trying to communicate with people even though they're unable to touch. So I'm somebody that has a lot of fun with music, love to play it, and, you know, love to play the guitar. And that's
cool.
pretty
So
much
Mr. Soft and Sensitive, go ahead and
soft and sensitive with a little bit of a kick.
Yeah, man, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Sample us a tune and then just keep playing and we'll tell you when to stop.
Sounds good to me. This is called Lend a Hand. Caught you in a moment crisis. You captured my heart and you held it in stasis. Might not get close enough to understand. It don't mean I can't try to lend a hand. I see you. I see you once in a while. We say hi when we pass in the street. I walked your dog once since that time. Conversations get longer as we speak. But when I saw you
you outside the cafe. You cried tears like you had been banished that day from a world that you thought you knew. I didn't ask, would you have wanted me to? Caught you in a moment of crisis that captured my heart and held it in stasis. Might not get close enough to understand. It all mean I can't try to lend a hand. Three weeks later, your look is more distant. I see you need help, but I am resistant. Your head is down like a yoke that's bearing on it. Can only be broken with a kiss upon it. But you're sick of Prince Charming's claiming they'll save you. If you told me go away, I won't blame you. But still I would.
All right, Paul Decoster, man, glad to have you here. So yeah, I was flipping through your website. So in addition to those influences that you mentioned, I see some other names like Don Henley, Brian Adams, even Sting, and Steve Perry.
Well, Steve Perry's kind of like, well, you see, kind of like by the way I sing, I kind of am influenced by a lot of those guys because they tend to have very high tenor voices, and that's what I shoot for usually, you know.
Well, I was thinking of someone else, Paul.
Who was that?
I think it sounds like the best fit to me for a few reasons. I'm going with Graham Nash.
Graham Nash.
So
the
Graham
first
Nash
actually ever said that.
Okay.
Look at the Hollies.
Yeah, and it's a few years, before any of these other influences that people are mentioning, but they're most about like the 80s and late 70s. Graham Nash, I actually just watched a YouTube video with him like a week ago, and he was playing some live tunes. So I think your sound, it almost sounds like you're soul brothers with Crosby, Stills, and Nash before Young joined. That's what I hear in your style, man.
Well, I think the funny thing is I'm very heavily influenced by a lot of English rock, and a lot of rock coming from the British Isles. I mean, that really, you could say the Beatles, yes, but anybody who was directly influenced by them. XTC certainly, from Sweden, right. They were great. Graham Nash, I like Joe Jackson, I like Squeeze, around 79, 80, around that particular period. I also like Tears for Fears.
Love them.
Tears for Fears. But Cutting Crew, also, believe it or not, I like George Michael. I mean, I think he had a very powerful message to say when he was here on Earth,
But yeah, Paul, I mean, it's like Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I mean, if I would encourage maybe some of your fans or some listeners checking out this show to listen to their early stuff. And I really hear a lot of resemblance there. And as I'm listening to your song, I was longing for those background harmonies to come in because it just brought me to that type of era and that flavor. And I think it's kind of this underlying style that may not be conscious to you, but I'm just telling you as a critic that's what I get a really strong vibe from. So
well, the funny thing is that there are a lot of the songs I write are very much with the band in mind.
Okay.
Background vocals they definitely lend themselves to background vocals. In fact, I've actually envisioned some songs in which I'm not just singing. I'm not the only one singing. I'm singing with other people as well. Even though it might be a song which I write, I would have other people singing along with me. Something like Neil Young used to do back in the day with Helpless.
Yeah, for sure.
Or Tonight's the Night.
For sure. So this is like, folk / pop type of a flavor.
In this particular instance, yes. I mean, that particular album that you heard, Universe, it was all acoustic. I mean, my prior efforts, my first album, Calling All Lovers, is much more of a rock album, kind of like in the line of maybe the Eagles or something like that. My EP, Walking in the Sun, is more of like an 80s pop homage.
EP, Walking in the Sun.
Yeah, I have an extended play with about 5 songs on it called Walking in the Sun, and that was an effort which I made prior to Universe.
Awesome. Awesome, man. All right, so moving on here, a couple more questions for you. So the website, by the way, is decostermusic.com.
Correct.
And so I'm flipping through here, and I come to this page, and it's your shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have upcoming shows, March 21st, 2020, and then it just stops. And that was basically
Well, I think that's because,
COVID
as you know
started.
why, the pandemic kind of like put everything to a screeching halt. And I'm glad that you reminded me of that, because I have 2 shows to put on there, both of which are at Cafe Atlantique in Milford, Connecticut. I want one coming up. I believe it's going to be on the 19th of June this month, a day before Father's Day, and that's going to be 7 and 9. So anybody, if anybody's in the Milford, Connecticut area, it's I think on 123 River Street or River Avenue or something like that. Just a little ways away from the Metro North Station. It's Cafe Atlantique. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
There. I'm going to be there again. I believe it's going to be in July. Let me get you the date. I'll have to check my phone, actually. I'm glad you reminded me of that. And I'm going to be putting that show up. And I'm going to be actually participating in Porch Stomp 2021 on Governor's Island. It's going to be on the 26th of this month. And it's going to be at noon. I'm going to be going on like around maybe 12:40. And actually, that's a very interesting concert, because that's one in which is called Equality is Sexy, in which I'm actually going to be doing a duet with a woman. And we're going to be singing some famous women singer-songwriters.
Cool. So life is returning to the planet, which is exciting. But so what did you do with the lost year, man? How did you spend your time?
Well, to me, it wasn't lost. I was working on my craft. I was working on the guitar. I was working on jazz guitar, trying to get that in hand, because I want to really, I love jazz harmonies and I love progressive harmonies, and I want to be able to be a better musician and really incorporate that in my playing. I mean, what you heard then was just a little folky, but I want to kind of like make it a little more complex.
Awesome.
More, guitar stuff, like this one. Like, I'll do you like a little sample of what I'm doing for a song. I'm not going to sing it. The promise of love is elusive in the way you're thinking of. So open your heart, let your weary spirit draw the chart. The only road is cut out for you. Go ahead, do what you do. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. On the promise of love, on the promise of love.
That's great, man. I love that.
That's an example of some of the stuff that I'm doing.
That's awesome, dude. So are you going to be releasing some songs in that type of style?
I am, and I'm also going to be releasing some songs which are a little bit more rocking. Like, here's a sample of a song I got called Party in the Candy Cane House. I'm like, let's see. Last house on a dead end street, shaking like a martini allowed to speak. Come on inside, the floor is sticky and sweet. Take off your shoes so you can lick your own feet. Of course. Party in the candy cane house tonight. And I'm not your head feeling light. Dance to the spangled peppermint delight. Nothing makes sense, and that's why you feel alright. So something like that.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, so that's more of a rockin' song. And I'm
That's
just
great,
giving a little bit of a taste, for the sake of time,
Well, yeah, Paul, we got to get moving on here with the show. So it was awesome having you on. Yeah.
I kind of feel like I kind of snuck in a couple of songs there. Just,
That's fine. That was great.
Like, oh, well, by the way, let me do this. And,
Yeah. No, it's great, man. We love the live performance. I mean,
I just want, because I like live performances, because you get to really see me in the flesh, and, you really get to see for yourself, is this guy okay? What can we do? And all, but
right.
I'm glad to be sharing this with you. And I hope you've taken it all very well listening to me.
No, absolutely, man. Please send us your new stuff when it comes
I will.
out.
I'll be very happy to. Once I get it kind of like polished and mixed and all that, I'll send some your way. Just I've got your email address. Anyway.
All right, cool, man. Have a great night, Paul.
You too. Have a great night. Thank you, guys.
All right, Rob, if you're ready to rock, we got 610 coming here with the song Feeling Like a Czar. Let's hear it, man. Roll it.
When every day's the same and your attitude is so lame, the world inside is tame and I'm tired of waiting for my fame. A spark becomes a flame, an inferno inside my brain. There's only one love to gain. When I hear my famous name, feeling like a czar, don't care who you are, celebrate my fame, everyone knows my name. Feeling like a czar, don't care who you are, all my seeds are sown, hurry for I'm dethroned, before I'm dethroned. All these clothes are worn and the memories are so torn from ritualistic porn. The revolution can now be born. Welcome into the fold in a kingdom that's growing old. Let the truth be told that you'll never find the gold. You'll never find the gold. Feeling like a czar, don't care who you are, celebrate my fame, everyone knows my name. Feeling like a czar, don't care who you are, all my seeds are sown, hurry for I'm dethroned, before I'm dethroned.
All right, that was 610 with Feeling Like a Czar. All right, so, got a few thoughts on this one. So, I mean, we've gotten some music from 610 before, and I was digging some of the older stuff. I think this one was a bit of a step back, I hate to say. I mean, it was a pretty rough recording. I do understand. I think he's going for that garage sound here, right? So, I mean, I get it, right? I get the style. I get the old school, garage minimalist type of a production sound, right? It works in the right setting. But that being said, that doesn't mean you should ignore like proper panning and everything in the mix, right? Like thing that jumped out to me, guitars always jump out to me, is you throw on the headphones, like the electric guitar during the verses, it's all the way on the left side. That's it. Like there's nothing on the right side when he's singing. That's unorthodox. It rarely like sounds good when you do that type of panning in the mix.
That's one way to
and
say
it was
it.
just kind of like a thin signal with the guitar, and it was like the vocals were kind of in a different place. And yeah, I think this may have been just an experiment to go for that garage sound, but I just think it needs a little more polish, even being in that style. But what do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, engineering wise is probably what we're talking about more than maybe the song itself. But yeah, I mean, some of the some of the transitions of the drums, like the loops or whatever, weren't really that smooth. And I definitely noticed the panning thing that you said about the guitar. Like in the beginning,
Yeah.
I'm like, so I love it when thrash bands do that. I think it's awesome when it's like, like Slayer does it on all their like middle 80s, like late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s.
Yeah, but there's
albums.
so much other
Listen,
stuff
though, for a second.
yeah. Go ahead.
But it's like they start and it's like they have like the, the starting riff and it's like over here on this side and then like they switch,
Yeah.
and then it comes together, something like that. But yeah, this one, it kind of just sounded like the other channel came in sort of like there was a bad plug or something and it kind of just came in randomly,
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, like you said, unorthodox, I think is a good word for it. Yeah, and then like the vocals, you know, were kind of, I don't want to like rip on him too much because this guy works really hard at his music. So I don't, you know, I want to be honest though, because like I tell my students, if I'm not being honest with you, you know, then I'm lying to you, you know, in a lot of ways. The other thing was the vocals, just like way too bright, way too upfront.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just my sense that I think this was maybe an experiment, right? Just to kind of go for this like late 70s punk garage type of sound, right? And just kind of reproduce that. But again, the conclusion is like, that's fine. That part is fine, but that doesn't mean just ignore like all the levels in the mix and the panning, everything, because it's not gonna produce what you're going for. Because like I'm listening on speakers here during the song, and the electric guitar during the verses, it's just, you can barely even hear it, right? And then you put on the headphones and then it's all the way to the left. So it's like whether you're on headphones or speakers, either one, it's not working. So that's, yeah, it just needs to be, that needs to be fixed, I think. Yeah. Or just, you know, take another try at the mix, I think, because I feel like I know what he was going for. It just wasn't put together in the best way.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, you know, we're giving honest critiques, but I really like this guy a lot overall. Like, you know, he's been working real hard over the last like 5 years. Comes out with a new EP like once or twice a year.
Yeah.
So, you know, more power to you, man. Hope you can take our thoughts with a grain of salt. And then I have I'm going to be writing a review on him. There's other songs too. This is just the one that I kind of randomly picked because it was kind of sort of the title track, I guess. But yeah, look at the other ones too. And so cool. So Dave, are you coming out with any music anytime soon since you're so fancy pantsies about engineering and mixing and stuff?
Oh, someday, Joe, when I retire early and I just I pick up the old dusty guitar again. Yeah, it's impossible for me to kind of, I can't do like, you know, working all day and then just go, you know, write a song. It's just like when I was doing music full time, it had to be full time for me.
Yeah.
To like create something
Kind of
that
how I am
sounded
too.
great. Yeah.
It has to be like all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, like yeah. Yeah, I had a good joke. I had a lot of good jokes tonight. I kind of just let them go because I just kind of just went, yeah, that's funny. But I'm not gonna say it.
But hey, yeah, I mean, parting words. We were critical with Trevor Heaslip, and you just heard what his latest song sounded like. So
true story.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it's yep, that's it.
All right,
man.
so cool. What do you have to say for yourself? Is that it?
I just said that's it, man. That's it. Show's done. Let's go.
I had a long day sitting here staring at the computer. I do absolutely nothing. So I'm just, my mind is ready for pizza. All right. Rob Hicks, Hixvideo, Hixvideo. Yo. Thanks for making us look good all these years and coming back. Next show is going to be June 28th, if all goes well. And so another couple of weeks off. Some reviews will be posting soon, and keep your eyes out for what we have next. That's about all I got for you. So go get vaccinated if you want to, I guess, and wash your hands.
Yeah.
When every day's the same and your attitude is so lame, the world inside is changed.